Welcome.
Hey.
Once again, here we are. And again, welcome to Date Night with the Crafts. I'm trying to get into my mood.
Yes, get into your mood.
It's gonna come on as the show goes.
Yes.
And it's gonna ramp up, and it's gonna get, it's gonna get more, more into it and everything.
Okay.
I'm not down. I just got a lot of shit on my mind.
Okay.
The world is piling a lot of stuff on me right now at this moment.
Dude.
And I'm taking it all in. So anyway, don't want to go off on a tangent. Okay. Anyway, welcome to Date Night with the Crafts.
Yes.
I am Justin Craft.
Yes.
And my beautiful queen to be, Kiera Badu Craft. My co-host. Yay.
Hey.
All right. Yay.
Badu, because I have the scarf.
Yeah.
I'm between weaves. It is I'm sorry, y'all. I thought I was going to get my hair done. Didn't work out. Show must go on.
Right.
I keeps it very
between
real.
weaves.
I'm between weaves.
That sounds like, when I think about that.
What?
That's
a real
movie.
Space. Between weaves?
Yeah, it's like a Tyler Perry movie.
Shut your ass.
That was just something funny. Okay, anyway. All right, but so anyway.
Yes. We are here.
We're here.
Yeah, another day, another no show.
I think look, I don't want to talk. I'm not speaking on anybody. So don't take any of this shit personal. It's not directed at you. Whoever you think this is directed at, it's not you. Sorry.
They don't watch
it's directed at everybody. I know, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, what the fuck, man? I think a lot of times people they grow a fear of doing this.
What, podcasting or just talking their truth?
Talking the truth on film, on video.
This is a heavy conversation, though, babe.
Yeah. Well, it has to be.
It has to be.
It has to be.
We have the balls and the kahunas to step into these rings and have these discussions about heavy shit that people really don't want to talk about.
I know.
But that's what makes us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes us. So, a lot of times it's easy to go on, online and post some shit under a picture or comment. Yeah. It's really easy to do. But when, someone asks you, hey, come and sit in this seat.
Yeah.
And give us a thorough explanation of,
how you feel
and everything like that, then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
A little bit different.
And it's okay.
But it's okay.
This is a topic that we can tackle ourselves. So it's not going to be a big deal. I wanted to have a woman side of that too, because the experience, it's different for mixed men and mixed women, you know? So, is that the right term, mixed?
No.
No, what is it?
It is multiracial.
Multiracial.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to get into the topic in just a moment, But for right now, let's talk about our last date. So we did some fun things. We went to the Holocaust Museum.
Fun and Holocaust. You put those together in the same sentence?
I tried not to say that. But it was
We had a fun time at the Holocaust Center.
What was it? What would you say? It was a good time?
It was an educational time.
We had an educational
Yes, we had an educational moment.
Yeah, educational moment at the Holocaust Museum.
Exactly, to remind us of what happened in history so we're not doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, even though we continue to repeat genocide.
Even though it's happened right now.
Yeah, it's a genocide going on right now. But
I know, and you have some guy that's closely aligned to, some ideologies of, homeboy in office, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Anyway,
wait, you saying he's like Hitler?
No, I'm not saying he's like Hitler.
Big.
He just doesn't look like him, but he acts like him.
Oh, that dictator type situation.
Yeah, that type and all that,
Yeah.
So,
but that was, we have some pictures too. We have a few pictures of us in the museum, so we that's us. Oh, look at us. Yeah, that's when I had my weave. I should have kept it. I didn't know.
Right.
That's Justin.
That's me looking at all the pictures.
What are you looking at?
These were just the survivors that moved to Houston.
Oh, okay.
These are people that actually were in the camps and some of the family members that survived and stuff. So.
Okay. And that's me looking at books because I love books.
Yes, we looked at all the books. There's a lot of books about Nazism.
Yeah.
Which
and
is,
then this movie that we saw, it was like so dope because it was like a 360 movie. It's like all around us.
It had like the pictures all around us and all that. A little sad, but it was still educational.
It was educational.
Yeah. So.
Do you have any more? That the last one? It's like 4 pictures, I think. That's it. That's all we have for y'all.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. You didn't have the ones with the hat. Okay, so they had this really dope one. If you ever go on my page, you see it. It's the books of life, right?
Yes.
And there was these books from the 30s. I think they started from the 30s, like
from the
31, 32,
Yeah.
all the way up to like after the war.
Yeah.
And these books were written at that time, and they were in Poland or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, so don't quote me on that. But they were from over there.
But they were rescued.
And they were rescued.
Yeah.
From the night of
the
the long knives where they burned the books and all that stuff.
The long night.
The long knives.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
that's
like,
the night
Lord
when
of the-
Hitler officially took
not
power.
Lord of the Rings. I cannot believe I was gonna say Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna stop talking. That was so disrespectful.
No.
Game of Thrones. I know.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, that was a long night.
Yeah, but I did. If you go to our Facebook page, I posted all of those pictures, so you can
Right.
go there and take a look at more pictures. But I didn't want to take up all this time with those pictures.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it was still educational. It was still
Yeah.
pretty cool. Good history lesson. Something take your kids,
Yeah.
show them what's kind of
Yeah,
going on.
I think it's good to see. We took our son with us. We took Gabriel, and he was, kind of weirded out by it. He thought it was pretty dark for,
Yeah.
a weekend trip. But
Yeah, but it was.
I thought it was
something
good
on the
that
list.
he was there. Yeah.
It was something on the list. So
Yeah.
you
So
know,
he can
gotta
say
do
that
it.
he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you wanted to go shoot guns afterwards, which I didn't think was a good idea. Just didn't seem fitting.
Well, we just had to find time to go to the range somehow. So I mean,
let's go shoot our guns. I'm like, no.
but after going there, I could see why, because some of the stuff that we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it just
can
did not put
imagine.
me in the
Yeah.
mood to want to go shoot my Glock.
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe next weekend we'll go shoot the Glock.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
The Glock cancels on you.
The Glock the Glock cancels. Damn it! It's just me, and I can't blame anybody.
I know.
Okay.
All right.
Also, too, what else did we do? We just went and had some food.
Yeah.
No, we ate out. I
Yeah, we
don't
ate.
really take pictures and post that kind of stuff anymore.
Nah, we
It
don't
just
like to
seems
post the pictures of food. That's played out. That's so
Yeah.
2018.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't take pictures of your food, man.
Unless it's on fire, then it's
Right.
cool then.
Right.
Yeah. But we decided to start taking more pictures and showing y'all what we're doing because it is a date night show.
Yeah,
and just some of
actually,
the interesting things to do around Houston.
yeah, we're going to be revving it up a lot because,
Yeah.
there's some ideas and a lot of things that we're going to be doing. I just, sometimes, you do certain things and you show people stuff and sometimes like, I don't know if they'll, if they can accept that or whatever. So, we're going to balance it out, but
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot more,
Okay.
a lot more next season.
So, in preparing for this particular show, I put this post up on our Facebook page. Let's post it. It was the one with like all the families. Do we have that picture? Okay. So we have the family to the top left, which is the white wife, black husband, mixed kids. The other one is two lesbian, two moms, and then kids. We have the gay dads and the kids, and then we have the black wife, the white husband, and then the mixed kids. And the question I asked was, does this bother you? And if it does bother you, why? And we got so many mixed reviews about, some people didn't know why we asked the question at all.
Yeah.
Some people were like,
That
why
was
aren't there
weird.
any traditional black families with the black mom, black dad? Some people felt like we were fetishizing mixed kids.
Right.
Some people felt like they didn't care at all as long as the kids were happy. But there were so many opinions about it, which is
Yeah.
why we posted it for this
Yeah.
particular show, because there are so many opinions about it, and I think that it needs to be talked about, not just through the lens of colorism, but just through the black experience, because there are so many black experiences that exist. Like you had one,
Yeah.
I
definitely.
had one, our kids are having one that's totally different from the ones that we had. And I wanted to do a show about our relationship to our blackness.
Okay, I can see that.
So this is what this show is about. It's called One Drop because, the one drop rule, a drop of black makes you black,
Yep.
but
According to American
according to
standards.
America and their whole concept on race, which is,
which is weird because it's about racism. It's built in,
Yeah,
and they go,
yeah.
well, it's not about race or it's not racist. It's like you built laws in
yeah,
that were
specifically,
racistly designed around race.
yeah.
So, and then it's like, then you try to pull it back, like, well, it's not really about that.
It
and
is. So my thing was, if
Weird
there was
shit.
no race, what happens to racism? You would still, I'm sure there would still be prejudice.
Right.
But what happens to racism? Because at that point, you just have to categorize people by their culture, by their religion, by their hobbies, by whatever.
I don't think it'll ever end. I think that even if we were all the same color, that someone would be like, I don't like people with flat asses. So we're going to start a gang that's
That sounds
against
like
people, that
your
got
movement.
flat asses, or we're going to start gangs against people that wear a certain type of colored shirts. There's always going to be, a conflict.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be a conflict. One time I was online, I was talking to this guy who was racist, and he was openly racist. He was a white supremacist. And I told him, I said, we could literally chop off half the United States and then give that to you guys, and we could have a huge border that reaches up to the stratosphere. No one can go over it. We'll never know who you guys are. We'll never see you again. I said, you guys on the other side will have your thing. And then I said, within about 100 years, you'll be split and y'all be fighting each other.
Yeah.
So I said, so you have to really think deeply about what this really is about and kind of the inner workings of it, because you can't keep blaming people for your problems, which it is. That's what racism pretty much is. And so he kind of got it, and it was funny because he actually certain parts he's like, I kind of agree with that. We probably would be over there fighting because it's just it never ends. That's just my whole point.
That it would never end.
Yeah, it would
that
just
people
never
would fight about. I'm not saying that there would be harmony amongst
Yeah.
humans. That racism is the only thing that keeps us in disharmony.
Right.
I'm saying that if we took it away, I wonder how the world would look if black, white goes away.
Mm-hmm. I think, something, I always have this thing ever since I was a little kid, I used to think about this.
Yeah.
And I would always think to myself, if we didn't have racism, I think we would be about 100 years ahead of where we're at right now.
Yeah, because it does keep us stagnant and keep us from evolving, because it's such a basic concept.
It is. I think if some black dude came up with some type of quantum mechanic, I can't think of off the top of my head theory of time travel, and he said, something, this is how we can open up a wormhole and we can time travel into doing this, and then someone would just be like, nah, I need to discredit him. Why? He's black. I feel like that. I feel like those times have happened so many times where things that could have, we could have moved on past certain things, and then people were just like, nah. You know what I'm saying? I'd much rather someone look like me do it than someone look like him and get credit for it. And that's the sad truth about a lot of things. Look at your history.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into it, but just read some books, read some history. You'll see it's happened a million times.
I agree.
So.
I agree. So since this is about the relationship to race, it's not just about racism, even though racism is a byproduct of race,
right.
of the construct of race. When did you, and I'll talk for myself after you say what you say, but when did you realize that you were black?
Oh man, I think it was probably around the second grade. It hit me kind of hard.
Why did it hit you hard?
Because I went to a school called Robert E. Lee in Austin, and Robert E. Lee was a hardcore Confederate.
Yeah.
Lined the walls. The hallways were lined with Confederate flags. There were Confederate.
In Austin? A liberal city. Okay.
Yeah. Lined with Confederate monuments. I'm talking, they spent some money on this shit. To be in an elementary school, think about it. Think about someone spending that level of money in an elementary school. I'm talking about these pictures they had were like expensive paintings, expensive, artifacts, stuff they had on the walls. I mean, it was like, wow, they really went all out with this shit, to promote some people that lost the war and, pretty much should have just been in a history book in a museum somewhere, but they're like putting it in people's schools.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why they were trying to get people close to this.
I want to make it.
You see what I'm saying?
Part of their
they wanted to glorify it. They wanted to glorify
it.
it. So that's why people was like, oh, no, that's not about that. It's about our history and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, okay. Not really. If your history is being American, then if they lost the war, then now you're American.
Yeah.
That's your history, and when people try to tie themselves to this Confederate thing, it's always just weird to me. We'll get into that later because I can have 3 shows about that. But yeah. So anyway, I went to the school. It was, it was very racist.
Yeah.
It was super racist. I was like the only black kid there. There was 2 other black kids there. I never forget. There was a sister. There was a brother and sister. And the younger girl was in my class. Well, she was in the class. It was like, it was 2 third grade classes, and she was in the other third grade class. And he was a little bit older in the 6th grade. And I remember that, they used to get picked on all the time. People would say ugly things to them all the time. And I was a little bit different because I was taught to rebel against that type of stuff.
Who taught you to rebel?
My mom and her boyfriend. So they taught me to, rebel against certain things. So in other words, I didn't mean it. I didn't meet things with like, hey, let's get understanding. It was more so with violence.
Yeah.
And I made sure it was with violence because I felt like that's the only thing they understood. So I would fight a lot. I would, do all types of crazy shit.
So how did you come into the understanding that you
We're
were
getting
black?
there.
Okay.
I know. I'm taking a long route here.
Yeah,
I know, but
dude,
hey,
wrap
we got
this
time.
shit
We got time.
We got an hour.
We got a long fucking time.
Okay. All
Long
right.
time.
Go
All
ahead.
right?
Yeah.
There's no guess here.
We
So,
do.
All right. So anyway.
Do y'all see what I go through though when I ask him questions?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when Carrie asks me what time it is, I'm gonna tell her how to build a fucking watch.
Yes.
So that's how it
You
works.
see,
Anyway.
okay.
But anyway. So
Go
anyway,
ahead. Mm-hmm.
that's when I realized that because a choice wasn't given to me.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, you're one of them.
Mm.
And it
White
wasn't.
people told you.
Yeah,
that you
and
were
it
black.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, hey, this guy, his mom's white, his dad's black. Hey, Justin, what's going on? Cool, whatever. It was like, oh, you're one of them.
So you found out that you were black through racism.
Yeah.
So your mom never had the conversation with you about you being
Not
black?
that early.
Oh, she
Second
didn't.
grade.
So she didn't know that she needed to have that
No,
conversation.
she didn't.
With you yet.
She approached life at that moment with the colorblind stuff that you see people do. Oh, you're color. I'm
You're a
colorblind.
human. I don't
Yeah,
see
you're
color.
just a human. You're just a color. Then you're gonna go out there in the ocean and get your ass ate up.
Mm-hmm.
Because people out there don't think that way in the house. So when you leave your little protective cocoon and you go out there into the world, people are like, hell no.
So you didn't know that you were like different from her,
I knew that I was different,
but you didn't know how.
I just didn't look at it that way.
Yeah.
I just didn't look at it that way. I knew I was different, but I just thought I was going to be accepted just by people in general.
Yeah.
Because how loving my mom was.
Yeah.
So I thought other people were going to be the same like her. And that was one of my biggest mistakes in the second grade.
So for me, I didn't realize, I always knew I was black. That's just kind of something that you know. It's not something that you have to come into awareness of. But I didn't realize, I don't feel like I connected to, you are black, they are white, they are Hispanic, they are Asian, until I came to Texas. And it wasn't through white people, it was through black people.
Right.
And I came to find out, that's when I first experienced colorism.
Right.
Not light enough to be light skinned, not dark enough to be dark skinned, in the middle, and being torn apart if you claim one or the other.
Right.
You know, so that was weird to know that black wasn't just one thing. That's when I first found out when I came to Texas.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, we are all black, but light skin, dark skin wasn't a thing in Las Vegas, at least not when I was young.
Right.
But when I came to Houston, it was a thing. And wait, did something happen? Okay. It was a thing. And then, we had to adjust to it. So that's how the knowledge of being black came to me.
Yeah, I could see that because being the term multiracial.
So when you say multiracial, clarify that.
Multiracial is just a mixed
your mom
person.
is what, your dad is
Yeah,
what.
yeah. It's something. Your mom is this, your dad is that.
We have a
Multiracial.
picture. Let's show a
Two.
picture of you and your mom.
Oh boy.
Oh, where is it? I got like a really good one too.
But
Oh, look at that. What is that?
it's a lion.
lion?
Yeah, it's a lion. You keep saying tiger, and I was like, God damn, it's not a tiger. It's a lion.
I said tiger?
Yeah, it's a lion. That was back in Chicago.
Really?
That was in Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your mom is Italian.
Yes.
Dad is black.
Yeah.
So, but she was treated like a white woman.
Yeah, she was
And
like
she
a white
lived
woman,
yeah.
kinda.
Kind of, but then she had the olive skin.
Yeah, so she
So-
told me that there was a lot of racism against her in her earlier years too
Yeah.
because of being Italian.
And being
Because-
a darker skinned white person.
Yeah, a darker skinned white person
Got
that
you.
she was.
So
you know,
colorism exists in white culture too.
Yeah, it does.
Got
And see that's the thing across the fence they don't tell you.
Yeah.
They want you to be like, oh no, it's this big unified front bullshit.
Yeah.
There's some definitely, if you talk to Irish people,
Yeah.
they'll tell you about some shit they went through. Italians, they'll definitely tell you about some shit that they went through.
Yeah.
And dealing with it, because there's always this group that just doesn't like certain people and they just keep pushing it in, and it's, hey, that's what it is. But the thing is, being multiracial,
Yeah.
I don't like biracial. I don't know why I just don't, because it's only like, I'm bi. I just don't like that. I don't know. I like multiracial. I'm sorry.
You don't
But
like
anyway,
the bi?
yeah, I don't like the bi. I don't
Oh,
if you're
okay.
bi.
Okay.
But anyway, but the multiracial thing, right? Because we are not accepted to any group. So we're the main person that's always being, excluded.
Were you given a choice though?
No, at first you wasn't, because when you try to go over to the black side, they're like, you're not black enough. You try to go over to the white side, like, oh, wait a minute, no, not over here either. You're not white enough. So you're kind of standing in the center, and that's where you get those people and they go, well, I'm not black. Oh, I'm not white. I am this. I'm like, no, you're not.
So you can't embrace both.
Nah. So you have to figure out how to navigate both, because you realize it's a hard communication issue. So what you do is you start to like I was telling you earlier,
Yeah.
you start to identify how to switch identities.
So code switch.
Yeah. So you switch identities, you know, and it's deeper than like how you do like it's your office voice and in your street voice. It's a little bit different.
How is it different?
It involves mannerisms, involves different things. It involves cultural. Yeah, it involves different things.
Yeah.
Like there's a way that I can sit down and talk with some people that really are not been around black people that much. You know, do
it. Show me.
No, I ain't finna do it on the
Come
show.
on, like show me, like show us what this is.
Because I have to have a white person to demonstrate this with.
I'm white.
No, you're not. You're not.
I'm not. I'm not.
I know,
obviously.
I'm just
Look
playing.
at this head wrap.
But no. Seriously, but let me finish explaining
Okay.
that. But there's certain energies,
Okay.
and it turns on. It's like a superpower. You know, it kind of turns on.
Oh.
You know, yeah. But it kind of turns on.
Yeah.
Seriously, and then you start to exchange. You start to, and they feel more relaxed.
Okay.
Around you. It's the same thing with black people.
Because of the energy that you get off.
Same thing with black people.
It's not just charm.
No. It's a certain.
It's a part of you that connects to them because they see themselves in you.
Mm-hmm.
That is so interesting.
It's like I'm dead serious about it. It's like a weird animal instinct, and you when you start to get around like there's certain people.
You know, I've seen it.
Right.
I've seen how you are when you talk to white women versus when you talk to black women.
Right.
You posture yourself differently.
Right.
You know. You're a little ruder too. I'm serious. You're serious. To white girls, you're a little ruder, and they respond differently to you.
Right.
With black women, you're more respectful.
Right.
So I've noticed that, like even with our guests, like how you spoke, you know, to some of our guests, not rude, you know, but just different, like how you address them. Whereas with me, it's kind of the same. Right. You know, but I see how you do it, and I've seen it. I've seen it. Even with you talking to cops. Right. Like, y'all, Justin may be the only black guy that I've ever encountered that talks shit to cops. hey, you back the fuck up. Right. And I'm like, oh, my God, you're about to get shot the fuck up. And they're like, oh, I'm just saying. And then it's like, hey, you cut the shit, man. And I'm like, oh, my God. Right. So that's your superpower.
Yeah, well... But here's the thing, and y'all can read this for yourselves.
Okay.
You can do research on it. You can easily Google it. 3 seconds. You can look at the psychology of when they ran tests on racial people.
Yeah.
And these people that ran these tests were like, oh my God, they switch identities.
Yeah.
Because you have to learn to do this
at a
very early age. Very early age. Because the minute you start making friends, you know, and the minute that you're outcasted, when you're in a place where you're the only person like you, you have to survive, and then your body starts to adapt. Now, this can lead to extreme levels of Orioism and Coonism, so you have to be careful with it. So you have to guide. Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Oh, okay.
You know, some people can go that direction and never come back.
Okay, and that's how
they were created.
It's created.
That's
Got you.
Created. You see what I'm saying?
Got you.
Because that black person at one point in time, it's not funny, it's serious. At one point in time, that black person was put into a situation
where they had
of survival,
code switch,
and they had to adapt.
They got stuck.
And they got stuck. And they don't know how to come back, so they constantly. Wait. Okay, so keep the camera off Kiara while she fixes her stuff. But no, that's what happens though. But that's what happens though.
I'm snorting this shit, nigga.
I know, right?
Real funny to me.
Right.
But okay, so they code switched.
Right.
And got stuck.
Yeah.
And became a coon.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Because you know, and then also too, got to keep in mind, there's also other ways too. The coons can marry other coons and have coon children. That's another
super
thing.
Coons.
Yeah, have super coons. You know, they can unite and fuse and create this super coon thing going on.
Was it coon forces activate?
Yeah, coon forces activate. And then they can fuse and make some shit that's like, God damn. He's like,
okay.
Like, you know, but
okay.
I mean, I'm joking about this. I'm being very
humorous
humorous about this. But I'm being so a serious
it's
point.
Funny,
yeah,
so
we go off on humorous tangents, but a serious thing is, it does happen because that person was put into a situation where they had to adapt and they had to survive, and then, like I said, they kind of got stuck in it, and they start to believe into the culture of it. They start to believe the lies. They start to believe the other things. They lose their identity. Because when you switch back and forth, there's a possibility you will lose your identity.
How did you keep yours? How did you maintain your identity?
I think I want to get, honestly, being real, 100% real about that, It was black women.
Oh.
It was black women.
Okay.
Because as far as I can remember, black girls would show up to my house when I stayed on Cherrywood in Austin and be like, hey, can Justin come out to play? And my mom would be like, oh, these little girls are outside. They want to talk to you. I go out there and it'd be this little group of black girls. And they're like, hey, you want to go down to the laundromat and play video games? I'm like, yeah, man, I get some quarters and go down there and hang out with them.
Yeah.
And I'd be talking with them and hanging with them and doing stuff. So then I felt an automatic connection to black people through black women.
Got it.
The first time. You see what I'm saying? Because there was no older black adults in my life at that time. I didn't start meeting like black friends until years later. So I had many years.
So you didn't have like any surrogate black role models to. Wow.
None.
So you grew up, you had a white experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but let me tell you something. I don't think I've ever told you this before. I always use this platform to tell you things I never told you before.
I know it's weird.
Don't take it personally.
Okay.
This is just real. Like, I don't feel like me and you have black love.
That's weird.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
I just feel like I love a human being.
Well, that's because,
I know that you are a black man.
Right.
I know this. But as far as that black love, the way that black love feels, like that type of a thing, I don't feel all the time that we have that, because our interests and the things that we connect on aren't about our culture.
Right.
It's more about who we want to be in the world, what we want for our children. So.
But that is black love.
No, black love is different. Black love is different. I know that you, it may feel different to you.
Right.
Because you've had the other love, and then you've had this love, the black love, and being pulled into a black family, but for us, it's not that. It's not that black love thing. It's more of it's just love.
Right.
It's just love.
Right.
So
I see what you're kind of saying.
More of a freeing type of a love, because black love still works within a certain parameter.
Right.
Perimeter.
Yeah.
It still works. Or parameter.
Yeah.
It
or
still
construct.
Or construct. It still works within a construct.
Yeah.
With you, I've had so much freedom, that it has been different from any other relationship, because I've only dated black men.
Right.
So it's different. This is a different experience for me. Even as far as the way our children are raised. Like, one thing, like we were talking about before, like our daughter Amaya. Amaya is very militant, very pro-black, wears this big afro, but she doesn't feel like she was raised to be a black woman.
Right. She
was just raised to be a woman, and that's strange, because me, I'm very pro-black. I'm very cultural, know, and so are you. Like, we've raised them, but they feel different.
Yeah.
And that's so strange, because that wasn't my intention.
I think, and I know this is kind of like controversial, but yeah, I know, right? It's the new black love.
This
it
is
really
new
is.
black.
It really is. And I know when I say that, and I've actually used this term before, so I've coined it. So don't go on your page, but like, it's new black love, man.
Okay.
I just, you got off the fucking show.
Yes.
But no, seriously, it is, right? Because the new black love has freedom in it that I think a lot of us in the old version of it still have a problem with, religious aspects of things.
Got it.
How you're raised up to believe about certain things, and how the social norms and all that.
Yeah.
And it strips all that, and it's saying if you were a black person with total freedom, this is how you would live.
Yeah.
You wouldn't live with the weight of some of the older stuff.
Yeah, I don't live with the weight of that. Like, for instance, like, what we can and can't have.
Exactly.
What white people will and won't allow us to be or have or do.
Exactly.
Those type of conversations never take place.
Right.
In our household.
They don't.
They don't exist. Now, we do warn our kids. We're not dumb.
Yeah.
We warn them about interactions with police officers and how to conduct themselves and protect themselves in this world. But we've never raised them on the limitations of being black.
Right.
They don't even realize they exist.
Right.
As a matter of fact, Gabriel was dating the Caucasian girl, the little girl that was white, and she told him that she didn't think that they had enough in common because his life is too privileged. And that was weird. We stayed up all night laughing at him.
Yeah, that was weird.
And he was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
But she felt that he was too privileged and couldn't relate to her in her life. And that was so strange.
Yeah.
So maybe it is. Maybe this is new black.
It is.
What has been your experience though, trying to infiltrate? That's going to be the word that I'm using. Black camps, like in school, like walking up to black kids or trying to make black friends. Did you find that to be hard?
I didn't find it hard at all.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I would just, in the neighborhood, I would just go up to people back in the day. You know, everybody from Austin knows me.
Okay.
You know, I just go up to people back in the day and just like, hey, what's going on? I just start talking and they'd be like, all right. You know
what about like with you having like such a proper diction? That didn't.
Nah, it didn't really, do it. But also too, I'm not gonna lie. I surrounded myself with some guys that are pretty rough. So it kind of like bled into the persona a little bit, and
So you had an edge.
Yeah, I had an edge. I had an edge with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I had some friends.
Mixed kids, y'all go get y'all some hood friends.
I had some very, very hood friends.
Create a little edge.
And so it was kind of like, all right, you know what I'm saying? He's cool. He friends with them, and he's friends with them, and all this stuff. And then, I always had some type of like, a gadget or toy, or I had some type of thing that I was always into, and they're like, oh, okay, I get into it, 'cause I was into skating, and then they're like, a lot of the black kids weren't into skating. I was like, man, here, take my skateboard. Let me show you how to, do this trick and do this. This is how you ollie off a curb. This is how you do a grind. This is how you do all this. They're like, oh man, this is fun. So I got them into that, and then so I would introduce people into things, and that was my way of like kind of like getting infiltrating into stuff, And then of course, I had to change my haircut, because at first it was kind of, I couldn't get in because my hair, I had my mixed kid hair, and she was horrible.
With scissors and shit.
Yeah, she was horrible, man. It was like a mixture between Prince and Michael Jackson. And so, yeah, I mean, you can go to my page, you see pictures of it.
Yeah.
But so I had to, get my Big Daddy Kane on, and once I got the Big Daddy Kane, that was it.
So hip hop also played a role in you being able to. Okay, I get that.
Definitely.
Let me ask you this question. Because that's something that happens a lot, I know, because I'm there most of the time, where you are actually kind of racially ambiguous. Mm-hmm. A lot of the times people think that you're Hispanic. Right. So we have a lot of people who, we've been in situations where people have stopped you and start talking Spanish, or, feeling like you are Dominican or Puerto Rican. I thought you were Mexican when I first met you. I
don't know how, but okay.
Because you had that Mexican fade.
A Mexican fade.
Yeah, you had a Mexican
when
fade.
I first came to Houston, I used to get my hair cut on the south side. So the south side was them ball fades.
Houston ball fade?
Houston ball
okay.
fades.
Houston ball fade.
The high ball fade is on top of your head.
He didn't know how to cut your texture hair.
Yeah, he didn't know how to cut my texture hair.
Looked like you were Mexican.
Right.
So I'm like, nah, I don't date outside my race.
Right.
You're like, I'm black. And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But the thing was, though, you had to, for me, did you ever encounter that before me?
Well, yeah, where people didn't know what I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually surprised a few people.
How does it feel when people ask you, what are you? Because I know you get that question a lot.
Yeah, I got it just yesterday.
Wow. Is that recent? But
I got the what are you and the do you speak Spanish? Yeah.
How does that feel?
I mean, I don't mind. People like, I speak Spanish. Like, no, Spanish.
What are you?
Oh, what are you? Yeah, that one is kind of like, it's kind of almost kind of like insinuating you're like a mutt.
Yeah.
And like you're somebody's racial Frankenstein. And I never that one to me is kind of like, I don't.
Is that a disrespectful question?
Nah, it's not disrespectful, but just the thought of it sometimes, it can be. But I understand people have to know what you are so they can put you in a category.
Yeah.
Once you're in that category, they choose how to socialize with you.
Yeah.
So it's important that people can put you in a category so they can fucking talk to you. See, like me, I just don't even care because I'm just like, whatever. I could talk to someone, he'd be like, he look Hawaiian, but he kind of look like he may be Mexican, but I don't know, man, he may be something. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I'll let him tell me one day, oh yeah, by the way, I'm from Hawaii, but my mom's from Germany or something. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Here's one of the questions that we got from our producer. She said that there was a tweet from someone saying that growing up with mixed ethnicities was helpful in identifying good people.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you say that that's true?
Yeah.
How so?
I think sometimes when you tell people that you're mixed, they think that they're giving you an option to identify yourself, but it's really our weapon that they don't know to identify them.
Got it.
And we use it to find out who you are.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna give you a quick example, you know, my friend Rohan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Rohan, you can't really tell what he is.
No, you can't. Hey, Rohan.
So yeah, I just talked to him yesterday. He's stuck in Utah. Long story. We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
but he was around some people one time when he worked for Exxon
mm-hmm.
and at the plant, and he didn't let them know what he was.
Yeah.
So then when he got around these people, these white people, they started talking really bad about his Mexican friends. Because they didn't know. They were like, well, I know he's not Mexican. They thought he was Indian or something.
Yeah.
So they started bashing, and then they started bashing his other black friends. They started, just saying some really ugly stuff. And he was like, wait a minute. By the way, I'm black.
Yeah.
I did something just very, very light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, shit. So it's one of those things where we use it to, kind of identify where that person stands at.
Mm-hmm.
And we could kind of gauge how comfortable they are or who they are, And
also, too, living in both worlds, you kind of understand the mannerisms and the energies and the, how people act. So whereas I may think that somebody is just being friendly, you're like, no, they're trying to show their dominance over you. They're doing this for that. I'm like, oh, because I don't have that same, haven't had that same level of exposure that you've had. So I get that.
Right.
Being fair-skinned,
mm-hmm.
do you think that it's easier for you to navigate in different circles?
Yeah. And of course we use that to our advantage. I hate when people go, well, you're just light-skinned, so that's the reason why you got... Yeah, sometimes, it is. Because sometimes I see that that's someone's thing. Yeah. That's their vice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'll go talk to someone, and they brighten up. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh my God,
you're safe black. They think you're safe black.
Yeah, they think you're safe black. We'll get into safe blacks, but
he's dangerous.
Yeah, right. but no, the people that and you discover that very quickly. Yeah. So you go, oh, okay, and then you talk to them or you navigate with them however you're gonna do, you connect with them however, and then sometimes it's just because they just perceive that light skin is a certain way, mm-hmm. And in the research into that, I found that the reason why they do that, it's not necessarily because of beauty. People think it's beauty. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're light skinned. Oh, you're just beautiful. Mm-hmm. No, I see some ugly ass light skinned bras, man. Like seriously, I see some nasty ass light skinned bras. It has nothing to do with that. What it has to do with, disgusting, bad skin, everything. They just look gross. They don't take care of themselves. That's just the bottom line. But it's the perceived version of their vision of health.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times through psychology, people think that people of lighter skin, of complexion skin, they take care of themselves, they look healthier.
Because of the way the sun hits their skin.
Right. So people automatically assume that a person that's more healthier is just more attractive automatically.
I wonder what that is, though, because you would think that the deeper tones or the deeper levels of melanin
mm-hmm.
would signify health.
I don't know.
But I guess because the social programming of being afraid of blackness.
Yes.
Plays against that too.
Yeah. So
what do you think about people who in our community
mm-hmm.
who associate light skin with weakness?
Yeah, that's bullshit. And the reason why I always say that is because I
don't allow it. Like if somebody's like you're acting you're acting light skinned, I don't allow that.
Yeah,
to be said.
it's kind of silly.
Everybody in my life that I love is light skinned. So it's like, what do you mean? They're some of the strongest people I know.
Right. And it's just silly shit. It's just one side or somebody in that bunch that just, they feel threatened by certain things, or they don't like, there's always some story behind it with the people that actually believe into it.
Yeah.
It's one thing if people make jokes. People make jokes all the time.
Yeah, it's a funny joke,
but
it's really not that funny to me.
It's not, because here's the thing about it, right? And this is one time when I actually hated this, mm-hmm. and I had to experience this, and I was like, fuck. But they can make fun of you mm-hmm. with light skin jokes and do all this stuff. But a lot of people get offended when I make a dark joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like,
well, colorism works both ways, So I think that anytime you take your pain
mm-hmm.
to inflict pain on others, so your pain of being darker skinned, and you take that and you use that to hate other black people that are lighter because of whatever. See, because here's the thing, and I can attest to this because I've been married to you for all of this time.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't know is that mixed people deal with race way more personally and intimately than most black people. Yeah. You may be discriminated against in the street or for a job that you want or for something else, whereas your whole family won't acknowledge you.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you carry their name and they
Yeah.
won't acknowledge you. So
Yeah.
race becomes a factor. Racism becomes a factor
Yeah.
every fucking day.
Yeah, like I was
You deal
telling
with racism
right.
and navigate racism.
Right. Like I was telling somebody not too long ago, I was like, okay, so you dealt with racism at a job,
Mm-hmm.
you dealt with it like in a place of you're eating or somewhere, a highway, road rage or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait till you deal with it at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Wait till you get up in the morning and have cereal with racism across the table,
Mm-hmm.
and then sit on the couch next to racism all day.
Mm-hmm.
Then wake up the next day and do it over and over and over and over and over
Yeah.
again. And I said, then you get to the level of either PTSD with it,
Yeah.
or you get to the level where you've really figured out how to navigate it,
Mm-hmm.
and you really figure out how to deal with it on a
Yeah.
different level.
Tell me about the isolation of being biracial.
In the beginning, a lot of times it was like I said, it was just definitely weird because people really went out of their way to make sure that you didn't belong
On both sides.
on both sides. Yeah, they really went out of their way. Like they really made an effort.
And that's the other thing too, is like, whereas you are not discriminated against, but you people of darker skin complexions have these things that they hold against. Not
Right.
all,
Right.
not all,
Not
but
all.
some
Yeah, some.
that they hold against lighter complexioned people
Right.
because of this and that. But you getting it from both ends, neither side.
Yeah.
And here's my other thing. I'm gonna let you get back to that point. I just don't want to lose this one.
No, you got it.
I believe that biracial people,
Mm-hmm.
be it black, white, white, Asian, Hispanic, white, whatever, I believe that y'all are bridges.
Yeah.
That y'all are bridges to bring us together, not to push us apart.
Right.
Because the thing is, being part of both
Yeah.
gives you a unique insight
Yes.
and an understanding of both.
Yes.
And you understand the differences and the likes all alike.
Yeah.
And you can pull people closer together because you're in the middle.
Right.
So
right.
I don't understand why we don't use, and I'm going to say use,
Mm-hmm. Exploit.
y'all, not exploit.
I know, right? I know, that's not that
Yeah,
word.
we do fetishize you guys,
Right.
but and I'll talk about that too.
Mhm.
Fetishizing.
Yeah, the
I know I'm
fetishizing.
Southern
I hate
and can't
that
talk.
word.
But why do we use y'all more as bridges?
Um,
Can y'all be used as bridges to
yeah,
bring both
we
sides
actually
together?
can. Just like how somebody will like for instance, the Japanese had a website where you can rent a white person.
Mm-hmm.
And the Japanese would rent, and Chinese as well, would rent white people
Mm-hmm.
as part of their like clique when they would go do business deals and sit them in there, and they wouldn't know shit. They would just smile, and they would make other companies want to buy into their product simply because
They
a
knew white
Westerner
people.
was there,
Okay.
or Eurocentric person was there.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. They
Yeah.
figured this shit out.
Other races.
Yeah, they figured out. They're like, man, we can get a website, and we can rent white people to do deals. Let's do it. And they got that down. This is years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so the same thing with us. I mean, it's like we're black, and the thing is, I know some people are like, well, blah, 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 but it's like, trust me, you can't tell me I'm not black enough to be a black dude at the same time when I'm black enough.
You fought to be black.
Yeah, and I fought to be black,
Yeah.
and I'm black enough to still get shot in the back.
Yeah.
I'm still black enough to
Be discriminated
receive
against.
all the discrimination that you receive,
Yeah.
all of it,
And more.
and more.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, so how am I not black enough if I'm getting the same shit that you're getting, all the
You
same?
look so good right now.
You
I
know
don't
what
know
I'm
what
saying?
it is. You just started looking really good.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe I'm fetishizing
The drugs
you.
kicked in. That's why. But no, seriously, it's like you can't ever tell me that someone is not black enough when
Yeah.
I get everything that you get. I mean everything. Don't ever think that someone's skin tone and the way they talk gets them a fucking pass. It doesn't.
So you still have to navigate blackness
Yeah.
like anybody else.
We
Do you
just
feel
know
like
how to.
you get a pass though? Like it's easier
No,
for you?
we just know how to navigate better.
Because you're connected to both sides.
Yeah, I'm connected to both sides. I just know how to talk to
Yeah.
people. I know what situations, what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
It's nothing to dealing with the color, because I guarantee you, if you put me into a darker skinned person's body, I will still get the same amount of success, same amount of everything else. It doesn't
because of
matter.
your upbringing.
Because of my
So then
upbringing.
you do have a privilege.
Mm,
You do have a privilege then.
I guess.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Do you
I don't know. No, I wouldn't take that back. No, I can see where you would say that. Not.
but you have the privilege of experiencing both sides to understand that side.
Yeah.
You know,
But now
feel
we
like
think. I think we say privilege. You think like education, access.
No.
Yeah,
privilege
I grew up
is just
dirt fucking
another,
poor.
Privilege is just another skill.
Yeah, I know.
It's just something that you have that you can use at your disposal. That's all that privilege from this context.
Information,
means.
yeah.
Yes, you have more information to handle something. Okay. But I do believe that y'all could be bridges.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like Barack Obama was a huge bridge.
Oh, he was.
He was a huge bridge because of being connected to both. He wasn't even African American. He just had African, you know, so he had the look. But this just falling off.
You good?
I'm sorry, y'all. I got to fix this real quick. My blackness won't allow me to be looking crazy. Okay, we good?
Yeah, you good.
All right, we good. Hey, y'all. But I feel like because he was who he was able to bring both sides together and unite us. So whereas people say that he brought about more racism, he exposed it.
Yeah.
Because people who really hated him for his color came out.
So,
and I'm not just talking about white people.
Right.
There were black people who hated him for his color too.
But you see, so this goes to show you how we weaponize that and we uncover. He did it to the whole fucking nation.
Yeah.
You know, he was at that point in time where regardless if you like him or not, I don't care about your political affiliate. I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, it was a biracial dude, multiracial, sorry.
You said
yeah, got up on that podium, did whatever he was going to do and exposed the people, and that's the things that, like I was telling you, that we do. That's how we navigate. Yeah, we navigate things, so we go, oh, okay, we know we can't trust that person. Okay, we can't trust that person. People. Yeah.
You know, like even in that Facebook page, the post that we put up, people were reacting more to the blackness, there not being a black man and a black woman, than they were to the homosexuality. Right. And I thought that we would have more responses to the homosexuality. We got a few. Yeah. But most of the responses were, love is love, love sees no color, you know, blah, 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 blah. Right. Why aren't there any black men and women together? You know, the absence of that. And they went into this whole thing about society and how the media wants to do this. I'm like, this ain't the media, boo. This me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We're asking a question. It's black people asking other people.
Black people asking other black people
a question like, what do you
about how these images of black families affect them?
Yeah.
You know, and people getting mad that we didn't present who we are or who they are.
Right.
You know, and I'm like,
that's weird.
That's the reason. Yeah. Because this incites you, and we wanted to know why. Why does that incite you so much?
Exactly. Why does it bother you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just like if you were to put up a picture of different cookies, and then someone jumps on there, no, y'all so ain't gonna post no fucking snickerdoodle. Y'all don't got it, you know.
Wait a minute.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like
chocolate chip is in that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, okay.
I ain't complaining.
All right, well, I didn't really think about that. I was just asking you these 4 flavors. What do you? There's just one flavor that you don't like, you know?
That was kind of what I was doing.
Fucking snickerdoodle, though. But why don't you have snickerdoodle on there? I'm like, okay, well, maybe we'll do a post where we have snickerdoodle next time.
Why you chose snickerdoodle, though?
Because it's funny.
Who's going to fight for snickerdoodle?
I don't know. Who likes snickerdoodle cookies?
Who likes snickerdoodle cookies? You like Kyla likes snickerdoodle
cookies.
That's why she laughing. I'm like, who the fuck would fight for snickerdoodle? I can see fighting for like a chocolate chip.
See, how did I choose that flavor? Why did I choose that flavor?
Because somebody liked it.
I know, but like, it's rare when someone likes it. So you use that to find out someone's vices and what they liked, what they're into. You know, just those things. See, remember I told you just things happen. There's just different ways, you know, you navigate. But anyway, so
so you just navigated her cultural experience. Got you.
But you see what I'm saying?
Privileged.
Yeah. So
I'm kidding.
But anyway, so back to what you're saying now. Whatever that was.
I don't know. I got lost in the snickerdoodle.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I went on a tangent about the snickerdoodle.
Oh, people being more affected about not seeing themselves in those images.
Right.
And I'm just like, why do you care so much? Why do you think that because the thing is, most black people are married to other black people. These are, you know, the outliers for the most part. Right. But the outliers affect us so much. You know, I can't lie. Sometimes I am affected by it. Mm-hmm. You know, just especially if it's a successful black man, I want to see him creating that, giving that wealth and giving that love and that to a black woman. I want to see that because when I see that, I feel like I have value, or the women that look like me have value. Right. You know. Right. But then there's that, and the other side of it is I'm happy he has love. Right. I'm happy that he's creating a family and more people. Yeah. You know. So I think we all have those things that pick at us a little bit.
Yeah, I could see it too because of the situation that the country that we grow up in and the way things are
and the way race is constructed.
Yeah, it gives you that.
Yeah,
I could honestly say if you were born somewhere else, would you have that same problem? You probably wouldn't.
Probably
you know what I'm saying? But you're born here, so automatically you start. Okay, here goes those weird feelings when I see this.
Yeah.
It's because someone else was like, I feel weird when I see that. That makes me feel uncomfortable, and I don't like it, and blah, blah, blah. So then when you see it, like, oh, yeah, I remember that guy that didn't feel uncomfortable. I wonder if other people don't feel uncomfortable about it. Oh, my, so then it goes into that.
Feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, now I feel uncomfortable about it. It's it's a virus, man. It shit spreads.
It is.
And then, but that's the reason why, as I said, that's the reason why for the picture. And I was curious to see that, too, because I was like, man, I thought people were going to go in on the gay dudes.
Yeah, me too.
I thought they were going to okay, they're going to say.
But they didn't.
They didn't.
What bothered them most is the absence of traditional black family.
Yeah.
That bothered them more than any other. Even that bothered them more than any image that I posted was me not posting that one.
Right.
And I did that on purpose because I wanted to see how people felt. Let me ask you this: Are you fetishized?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. Is that happening to you?
Yeah, it always happens. But I mean,
how do you feel about that? Is it?
Well, it's with everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody gets it. If you are real dark, and then there's people that fantasize about just really dark people, and there's people that they fantasize about really light people.
People with big booties.
Yeah, and there's a huge.
Up,
yeah, that's exactly right.
What's up, yeah.
Into me, I'm one of those. But then there's the fixation with multiracial people.
Yeah.
The people just. They have this fascination with it, and it's just the way it is.
What if somebody wanted to date you and you dated them and you realized that the reason that they were dating you was because...
Well, that's been a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
That wasn't why I wanted to date you.
I know, but through high school, through, times outside of high school, a lot of those moments, it was because of that, because sometimes girls would just tell you, like, oh, yeah, I like you. Why? Well, you're mixed.
How does that make you feel?
I'm like, oh, wow. I won the birth fucking lottery. You know what I'm saying? But But nah, and this did not come just from black women. This came from all types of women.
I know.
And they're just like, oh, you're mixed, so this is awesome. I'm like, okay, but I've met dudes that were mixed, and they're a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're just like, all right, that's the only thing they got going for them. But personality wise, they're dead behind the eyes.
Yeah.
But hey, teach his own. Navigate that how you want to
navigate it. If you could redo it, would you prefer to be born in a traditional black body? Or do you welcome the experiences that you've had?
I welcome the experiences I had. I honestly couldn't change it. I think if you start to think that, it'll fuck you up. Now, I wish I had my son's height. I'm not going to lie. The height skipped right past me for some reason. I feel like that's unfair. And I think it is because of the Italian side, because they're all short and stubby.
It skipped past you? I think the height came from my family. I'm the one with the really tall dad.
Well, all my half brothers are like 6'6", 6'5".
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna take credit.
But seriously, but you can still take credit because there's tall people on both sides of our family.
Yeah.
But seriously, it was the Italian side was like it made me a little shorter.
Well, I love you.
I'm not like stubby, but
I love you exactly how you are.
Right.
I do.
Yeah, thank you, man. I love you exactly where you are too.
You're like really dope, and I feel like being married to you has opened up my life in a way that I could have never imagined. Like that freedom thing, that's real over here. You know, being able to see the world, the whole world from a global perspective versus just a cultural perspective.
Yeah.
Not saying that I couldn't have gotten that in any other relationship. Don't think that that's what I'm saying.
Someone's already brewing it.
But through this relationship,
right.
through your lens, I have a totally different view than what I was brought up to believe. Because when I talk about black love for the most part is grown from religion.
Yeah, it is.
It's grown from gospel music. It's grown from, soul music and all of these things that come from religion and all of these other experiences and oppression and all of these things. So whereas I could say that we don't necessarily have that version of it, I can appreciate the new version.
Yeah, because imagine if you took a group of black people, right, and then you took them to a make-believe island that had cities on it, and you never told them about slavery, you never told them about religion, you never told them about anything, and you just raised a group of black people on this island, and they farmed, and they lived happily, and they had all this stuff. they wouldn't have none of the hang-ups that the black people have today in America. They wouldn't have any of this shit. They wouldn't even know that it existed. So that was my mindset, because experiencing so much racism at an early age, you know what I'm saying? I was Huey Newton by the time I was in fucking 6th grade, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was like, there's got to be a better world. There's got to be a better existence.
You
and
created it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to keep the weight of their racism on me. You know what I'm saying? I took that away from them. You know, they can still hate me, but at the end of the day, I'm going to navigate this world, and I'm going to get exactly what I want, and I'm going to do exactly what I want, and they're not going to stop me. And then once they figure that out, they just kind of go, okay, we'll just give him a pass. He can kind of go, you know, but no, I'm going to stop his ass right there. Yeah, you stop, but that's how they're going to do you.
Yeah.
So
if you stop and give them and give them a moment to decide,
they'll wreck your shit.
But if you just bulldoze through, you live your life on your terms.
Yeah, live your life on your terms. Don't let people decide for you. Don't ever think you can't get a job. Don't ever think you can't go nowhere. Don't think you can't exist here. Don't think you can't move into a neighborhood. Any of that, you know, you know, go on. You don't have to assimilate. You know, you don't have to, you know, get into their world and then, you know, become a part of them and dance for them when they want. No, you can be exactly who you're going to be. You know what I'm saying? Because I never stop for anybody. You know, I work very professional jobs. I pull up, I'm bumping my music. I tell them I am a hip hop producer. I produce some straight up street shit. I hang around with friends that you will never hang around with, or people you may not like, but you cannot tell me not to do that, and you cannot judge me based on that. You're going to judge me based on what I do here today. You're going to judge me based on my character, and that's the only option that you got, because I'm not going to give you the option to decide for me how I'm going to live my life according to what race I'm mixed with and all that shit. That's the difference. And I've been like this shit since 2nd grade.
Oh, I know. When I met you, you were like that.
Yeah. And that was what? I was 20, 21?
Yeah, 20.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, that's how I am.
Yeah.
And that's the decision I made. So, you know, teach his own.
So, final question, because that was part of, I'm sure, your closing words. But pull it down again. Y'all, I'm getting text messages about this scarf. Fuck this scarf.
He said pull it down again.
This scarf is not finna ruin my life. Kylie, you trying to be funny? Okay. We got 3 minutes.
Pull it down again.
So my final question to you, as far as being living a multiracial experience.
Right.
What advice would you give to parents raising multiracial children?
Oh, that's such a good one. God, I need like 15 minutes.
No,
anyway,
I got to. Go ahead.
First, number one, do not approach it with a colorblind approach. That is the worst.
Okay.
You know, don't approach it with the, you know,
inclusiveness.
Yeah, don't do that. Because they'll get out there and then they'll learn the hard way and they'll break their heart.
Yeah.
You know, break them.
Yeah.
And then you'll get some different people when they come home after a while. That's what happened to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You'll come home different and be looking at them like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so that shit you're just talking does not exist. But you know, listen to them.
Yeah.
You know, do some research yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Have those hard talks about things, you know. Have other people come over and talk to them. You know, if you're a white woman and you have a black child, bring some other people over of color and sit around and discuss with them so they can feel connected and you can they can identify what's going on and you can communicate. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, you can't put them on an island and then be like, hey, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to run into this. It's not going to happen. No one's going to treat you this way. And then you go out there and you're going to get treated that way. It's going to happen to you. And then, like I said, it breaks your reality.
Your white privilege is not transferable
exactly,
to your black kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you start having identity crisis. Yeah. That's where people have the identity crisis from.
And they get stuck in cool mode.
Yeah, when they're stuck in cool mode. Yeah, it's like airplane mode. You just call off the blackness and you just kind of go. And you're disconnected. And then you can't reconnect again. You can't connect to the network. So... But yeah, that's how it happens. So, you know, you have to have those talks. You have to bring people around. You have to give them their history. You can't alienate them and give them a false history, because that's giving them false hope.
Yeah.
You know, you have to give them everything, you know, and thank God that my mom did, because she's rebellious against things. And so she gave me the real word on it.
Got you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no
It seemed
problem.
like this season you've been really sharing a lot of your personal stories. You have such an interesting life, and I always want people to hear about some of your stories, because they're real world stories and they can help a lot of people.
Right. Yeah.
But
always.
Yes.
Always.
Thank you, babe.
Yeah.
But that's the end of our show. we're gonna post this to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Y'all make sure that y'all share, like, and comment.
Yeah.
With any questions, discuss. Let us know if you maybe you agree, maybe you don't. Hit us in the DMs if you have a question or you want us to bring up something on one of our future shows.
Yeah.
We got 2 shows left for season 2, so make sure that y'all get those in before we go into hibernation while we work on season 3.
Exactly.
But again, thank y'all for listening. We appreciate the support. Enjoy y'all days this weekend.
Mwah. Take it easy.